changed my brain. It is not the same. I changed the game. Keys with the keys is the name. Break through the construct. Change the whole plane. Connecting more dots. My perspective has changed. Leveled up in this life. It really is a game. I'm just trying to gain more peace in this insane world. Best version of yourself. Let's get it. Oh yeah. All right, we're back for another episode of the B-voy podcast. We got a special guest here. I always have a special guest. It just is what it is. We got an OG from the Ford Dynasty Wrestling Club, year one. If you know, you know. I call him Little Kyle Dake, Myas Little Kyle Dake. That's what his nickname is in my phone, because when I first saw this man, he was in the wrestling room and he just looked hungry. He was a grinder. He was a part of my second favorite ever high school team, because that team right there, it was built different. Shout out to Lincoln. I don't know what year. What years?
Probably 2013 to 2014 to 2018.
Okay, those years. But special guest, Jeremiah Sandoval. He's in the building, and he's going to share a lot of great stuff. So since we're already talking about, I say the second best favorite team that I like, because my brother's team from Heritage, Vancouver, they won every tournament in the state title as a team. So they number one. But y'all number two, not only because you was part of the team, but also because Big Bro was the coach. Yeah. So it got to be a favorite team, you know. So speaking on that, just how we're going to start this off, you know, you had a different environment in that wrestling room, you know. So how was it first having Greg be the coach for Lincoln, but also can you describe how were y'all guys not fearing nothing? You guys had this no fear mentality. Didn't matter if you was wrestling for 1-2 years. It was just anybody can get it.
I think so. First off, I think that mentality was built around just the environment and stigma around us. So there was Lincoln, it was an inner city school.
Okay.
Tough school, man. I mean, if you don't hold your own, you're kind of bossed around there, and then you just kind of fade into the afterlife of what Lincoln was. I was trying to be something different, trying to become someone known around the school that, you know, was hard to mess with.
Yeah.
And that wrestling really did do that for me. I mean, everybody knew I was tough afterwards, and just getting on that mat, being able to put up, you know, numbers on the board on people just made me feel so dominant. And I was like, something about wrestling is just something special.
Nice. So just one more thing I want you to add to that. Was there anything different that happened when Coach Greg got involved in the program? Was there anything different?
Well, I wasn't there beforehand.
Okay. So you came after?
I had no wrestling experience.
Okay.
That was my first time ever dealing with wrestling.
Yeah.
I in middle school, I actually thought it was kind of, you know, funky. But my thoughts changed afterwards, you know. Experience is different. And so I started with him from the beginning. So it was always organized.
Yeah, OG.
Yeah. So, but I'm saying I had no prior knowledge of wrestling in general. I didn't even know wrestling was a sport, really, to be honest. I didn't know it was as big as it was either. Super organized all the time. Hard workouts every time. I mean, nothing was easy. And we always had good guys in the room, very athletic people.
Okay.
And when you have athletic people, you just learn a little bit of technique, and they start becoming really good, really fast, you know, if they want it. And everybody at Lincoln wanted it, because that was the stigma. We had to go out there and get it. Athletes at Lincoln, if you wanted to get out, go do something with your life, you kind of had to work hard for it.
Would you guys say y'all all had a little bit of a chip on your shoulder?
Oh, definitely.
Oh, yeah.
100%. Because Lincoln back in the day when it was first started was actually known to be really, really good.
Okay.
Yeah, they were dogs back in the day.
Yeah.
Back when Clover Park had their run of championships, Lincoln was a tough team. And then there was then a couple years, you know, it dropped off, and then Ford got it, and then it became organized again, and then we started winning, and you know, we just always had, I'd say,
just on the grind. It was on the come up.
Yeah, it was still on the come up. even the way it ended, we were still coming up.
Yeah,
It
you,
was
yeah, you
still
definitely
coming
were,
up.
you
I
guys
was
were
like,
going
oh,
up.
man.
So a lot of people might ask, and it's just like, why name Myers the nickname the Kyle Dake? So before I even get into that, most of you guys don't know who Kyle Dake is. He was a 4-time NCAA Division I champion and also Olympic bronze medalist, right? And so I heard a story, and you go and verify the story. The story is about you. So Big Bro was ever to get Kyle Dake in the Lincoln wrestling room. I'm over in California. I'm like, this is crazy. Kyle Dake's in the room. He's in Lincoln High School's room. This is crazy. This is big stuff. And so the story was, and correct me if I'm wrong, and I'll let you explain. So everybody knows at Lincoln, there was a bunch of dogs in there that wasn't scared of nobody, right? And so being scared of nobody means anybody can get it, right? And so the story was you challenged him. Did that happen?
I mean, I definitely did. 100%. I thought I was him, but I also realized, you'd never get those chances. And the only way you're going to get those chances to see that and feel that kind of next level experience of like athlete. He's top of the chain.
Mm-hmm.
He's that guy.
Yeah.
Obviously. And just to be able to be in that same room and challenge him, I mean, you should always challenge someone better than you. You should
100%.
always go out there and try to get after it, because either way, you're going to learn something.
Exactly.
You're going to learn some kind of knowledge from it. You're going to keep something with you. Like, ooh, maybe how did he take me down like that? Oh, well, you're going to go into his background and research what he does for his training, and you're going to really get into this guy and could become a role model like he was for me. And I really thought, I could take him down.
Yeah.
I was like, I got it.
Yeah.
But no. He said no.
Yeah.
He said, I'm not even worth the time.
Yeah.
I was like, Jesus Christ. Yeah.
Just so you guys know, he did also follow up at another camp and clinic with Bubba Jenkins. Bubba Jenkins is a Arizona State University big timer, and it went kind of the same way. But you know what? He didn't back down. This man never backed down. And so always, you guys, from the wrestling community, there's a lot of people out there that are wrestling today, and sometimes they fear the competition, right? Compete. I understand that social media is a big thing, and people don't want to be blasted, right? They don't want to be clipped. That's the sad world that we're living in today. But also, you want the clout. Y'all want the fame. You all want the influence. It's a flip side of every coin, right? Yeah, there's pros and cons. There's always going to be ups and downs, but what side you want to be on? At the end of the day, I'm trying to go get it, no matter how good the competition is, because if I'm not out there trying to get it, I'm just trying to be average.
Yeah.
You want to be average? You want to be normal human being?
No, sir.
I don't know. The part of the podcast, we best version of ourselves. We got to go get it, right? If we're not on that grind, if we're not on that hustle, that growth, that evolution, what are we doing?
Yeah.
What are we doing? Yeah. Right? And so
wasting time.
Yes, you're wasting time when you have boundless amounts of potential.
Exactly.
The limits are only the things that you put on yourself. You're actually limitless. It's just all what you want to do with it. Have a goal, have a plan, achieve it, go get it, make some steps, plan it. Maybe don't go in that order, but it's somewhere around that, right?
Yeah.
And so, okay, anyways, I want to transition real fast. Okay, this is the first time ever happening. The best version of yourself, lightning round with questions. Okay, those of you guys that are watching, be thinking about these questions in your head too, because it's powerful. And if you ever got the opportunity, what would you say? All right, let's get into it. All right. Question number one, when we're going through these questions here, Jeremiah, it's just whatever comes to your mind, speak your mind, and try not to spend too much time thinking about it, okay? Question number one, if you could change one thing in this world, what would it be?
If I could change one thing, I think it would be limits.
Limits, okay. Explain a little bit on that, elaborate.
Everybody sets limits and boundaries for themselves when you can do better, but you just decide, hey, I don't want to do it. I don't want to be better.
Okay. So basically, I think what I'm interpreting is not having the ability to have a limit.
Mindset.
Got it. Okay. Question number two. You can pick one superpower. What is it? And you can't do nothing like Superman because he has like multiple powers.
Teleportation.
I like that. Nightcrawler, Jumper, whatever, all these movies. If you could teleport anywhere, I'm going anywhere. I don't need a car no more. Fossil fuels, nothing's going in the air. All right, good. I like that answer. Number 3, you can create one thing anything, what is it?
A wishing stone.
A wishing stone. Okay,
That works.
Okay, a wishing stone. So you got your wishing stone. What you wishing for?
Man, if I'm wishing for power. I'm about to be invincible.
We're regurgitating these questions. Okay, on to number 4. If you could speak to animals, what animal would you speak to, and what would you say or ask?
If I was to speak to any animal,
If you could speak to any
I
animal,
would
what
speak
animal?
to a lion. Everybody should speak to a lion
Okay.
because they're king of the jungle, man.
What are you saying though, or what are you
Like-
asking?
Hey, what's your mindset? What makes you a dog? Like, what is it? What makes you?
You
alpha
just
of the
grow up
pack?
like that?
Like-
you just is
Like,
what you is?
What makes you?
Golly.
Who you are?
So your wife run the house? Yeah, they do. The women lion, they do the hunting. They do all that. So you try to just relax it, but you're still a dog though.
Hey, but when it comes to fighting, they up.
Not true.
They
True.
come up. They come up.
Facts. All right. Number 5. Okay, this is a 2-part question. Okay. You just got your hands on some game-changing information, life-changing information. How would you distribute the info? Catch 22. If the elites find out, you in trouble. Go.
Okay, who are the elites? First off,
The elites, the people that
Top of
run
the
the
food
world
chain?
that
Yeah,
can make
okay.
some things
I already
happen.
have money.
Okay.
Okay, I would probably, I would keep it to myself, or I'd ask only the people in my circle, and like only people I think that are knowledgeable.
Okay. Let me
who have
elaborate.
no ill intent.
on this question. So, in the world of technology, television, listening devices, all in all, if you share this information with anybody, their lives could be in danger. So, what way are you distributing the information so maybe nobody can hear you, but you still impacting the world in some way or other people's lives or something? How are you doing that? Can you do that?
I
Is
don't
this
think
too
you
hard of
can.
a question?
This might be a little too deep for me. Honestly, I don't. The information that would kill people. Oh no, I'm probably.
Well, it's not gonna kill.
even-
It's not gonna kill people. It's just like, okay, for example, like the food industry.
Okay.
Right. The
Okay.
elites created this food industry, this food pyramid, and it's detrimental to a lot of our healths. Now we're addicts.
Okay.
And so they did that. So what if we were to release information to say everything that y'all been taught is wrong, and you proved it?
Oh,
They don't want you. They don't want us releasing that information.
Okay,
So,
okay.
like, how are you distributing this game-changing info?
I would have to.
Oh, you know what?
Man,
Let's cut it
that's-
off because it is a thinker.
Yeah,
What are
yeah,
you guys
that's
thinking out
deep.
there that are listening to this? Give me your thoughts in the comments. All right. Question number 6. What is the best version of Jeremiah Sandoval look like
Okay, the best version of myself.
and feel like?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if other than my injury I got after conferences,
Hmm.
I feel like right now it's probably the best version of myself. I have a great mindset right now,
Okay.
and I'm loving life, and I'm enjoying being relaxed and doing my own kind of workouts and running routines and not practicing as much as I was or putting as much pressure as I was coming into my college, debut again.
Okay.
Right now I feel like just I could take over the world.
Prime
I'm ready.
time.
I'm ready to go back at
Coach
it.
Prime?
Yeah, Coach Prime.
Ooh,
Oh,
Coach
come on,
Prime.
come
Let's
on.
get it. All right. Let's go on to this last question. Question number 7, rules and sevens. If you know, you know. You can give a piece of advice to your younger self. What are you telling your younger self?
Piece of advice.
I got great questions.
Yeah. Start sooner. Take it more seriously.
Okay. I'll take that. I'll be thinking about these questions all the time. Like, what if I could go back and talk to myself? Because if you guys, I'm not going to get too deep on this time travel type stuff, but if I'm able to change something or tell my younger self, it could change the trajectory of who I am today. So it's got to be very careful.
Yeah.
But we won't get into it another time. All right, making a shift. we are big time anime fans. I love anime, and I know. Look at what you got. One Piece shirt on. We got some shorts on. They probably anime style too.
You know what it is?
Ooh, icy. Fire and ice, wind.
Ace,
You got the
baby,
full
Ace.
Airbender avatar shorts on. Let's get it. So I love anime. Anime is just like something I grew up on, and it helped me through a lot of things. I could relate to it, as an athlete growing up in the game. Like big time anime always taught me like the underdog is always somebody that's out there trying to get it, right? We started this off with, we hungry. The American dream is the underdog coming up on top. Rocky Balboa, all these things. And so anime, I feel like reinstated those mentalities in me. Dragon Ball Z, I'm an OG Dragon Ball Z fan. That's what started me, right? When every time Goku lost, it was train, and go at it again. Battle the same person until you win, right? That's a bar right there. And so that was one that started me, and then many more came after that. That was kind of the same type of like, if you don't got no powers, you got like Asta from Black Clover. He ain't got no magic in a magic world. How is he overcoming, right? And then even like, Naruto to a sense, even though he had full OG powers in him from the beginning, he still was kind of like, man, I got no friends, I got no blah blah blah, but I got unlimited chakra. And then there was a lot more anime that followed that same suit, but anime always just taught you, no matter what situation you're in, you can overcome and you can grow and still be the best of the best. I'm not going to speak for all anime, but a lot of the prime times that I watched.
Hajime no Ippo.
Oh, the boxing. Well, if you know. That's yes, great. It's funny because I had that on my list. So speaking of list, okay. I know this is hard. This is gonna be hard. I come up with the best of the best questions, but this is always a topic of debate. And this is a perspective and an opinion. So don't go killing it in the comments. Whatever. But top five.
Top five, obviously. I'm gonna have to give the first one to Naruto because that kind of I rose up.
Naruto's
on that one,
my list. It's in my list.
One of the first animes I watched all the way through, so it was a big one for me. And I was
long one.
Yeah. And then number 2, One Piece.
Ooh.
Come on.
Yeah.
Still going on.
I know it's up there. Sorry, guys. I haven't actually really watched One Piece because if I were to start it, I would have no life, right? And so I just decided, I know it's great. I know there's a lot of One Piece fans out there, but I just can't do it. It is what it is.
Understandable.
Okay. Number 3.
I think Netflix is coming out with a new series, actually. A remake with no fillers. You might have to give it a once a week watch.
I'll see. We'll see.
So number 2 was the One Piece. Number 3. Oh, okay. Let me think about this one because I have one in mind.
Okay.
But I'm like, is it top 5 worthy? That's the question of the day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is it top 5 worthy? Mm-hmm. And these will change and these will move around from like top 5 to top 10 depending on how I feel.
We're definitely in an age of really good anime right now. So.
Yeah. Either Baki or Black Clover.
Okay.
It's like a dash in between those.
Okay.
Those could switch.
Those are some good choices.
Those could switch because Baki or the original Baki the Grappler. If everybody really knows, if you know.
If you know, you know. Red hair.
Yeah. Come on. He was a dog, and that was one of the animes I was watching.
First episode, 100 fighters he tried to beat up and got mad because he didn't beat all of them up. Crazy.
He's like, I only got 60 of them, 70 of them.
God damn, he was upset. He was upset. You know who my dad is?
Yeah. Piecing people in.
Yeah.
But fought what is those big ass monkey? The gorillas? I don't know what they were.
What we talking about? What anime?
Baki, the grappler.
Oh yeah, it was a big giant gorilla that he fought up in the mountains.
Like Jesus, man, that thing was crazy too.
Oh yeah,
that was just the sun.
Yeah, very beginning.
Yeah. Oh, those are back in the day. But
what's number 5? Number 5.
Number five. Dang, I don't think I have a spot for number 5. I can just fit in there.
Yeah.
Because I watch some good animes. I'll have to go with what's his name? I forgot it's a rugby one.
I feel like I know what you're talking about, but I haven't actually. I've only watched like a few episodes of that one.
I can't remember what it is, but guys, watch rugby anime.
Rugby anime.
Hey, it is something else.
You guys, we're in the age of information. Just type that shit in, and you'll find it.
Yeah, but it's a rugby anime, and it's pretty freaking raw. I mean, I don't know. I'd never really watched rugby, but until I watched that anime, it gave me a whole new experience. And I was like, damn, these guys really get after it on the rugby.
Yeah, there's some sports anime that really get it. You know, we'll say on the side, Blue Lock. Blue Lock was a heavy hitter for me. It's not in my top 5.
No.
But it's definitely a heavy hitter. I'll go with my top 5. Okay, so obviously you guys already know I spoke of Dragon Ball Z, so that has to be number 1. It started everything. And man, it was a split for number 2 with Naruto and Attack on Titan.
Because Attack on Titan doesn't.
Naruto definitely, I would say number 2. Attack on Titan. It's just, man, I feel like there's a lot of relations to the actual world we live in, and when it comes to conspiracies and actual if you really watch that show, and think about the world we live in, there's some connections. So I'll go Naruto 2, Attack on Titan 3. Number 4, what did I have? Hunter x Hunter.
Oh, okay.
Hunter x
I knew
Hunter
you were going to say that. I knew that was going to be in the top 5.
Ooh, gone, man.
I don't know.
I was a fan. One of those, once again, that's like, to me, it had a lot of the elements.
Yeah.
The funny, the drama, the sadness, the anger, the emotion after you killed my friend, right? You know, there's a lot of great animes after that. Emotion, you guys, if you've been listening to my podcast, emotion means energy in motion. If you watch anime, you already know our energy moves when we change our emotional state. So it's just showing it in real time in anime, right? Number 5. Number five. I had Baki close to it because Baki was good.
Okay.
Hajime no Ippo, that was close to.
That's up there.
I gotta go with Bleach.
I knew you were gonna say it. I knew Bleach. I was gonna. Oh my god, I was thinking Bleach it in my head.
It's just so there's like certain animes that when I really started to dive into them, it was those.
Yeah.
And so those got me going, but it's. The top 5, you guys, is always going to be very difficult to do.
Your top 5 is always going to have the big 3.
Always, because that's the beginning.
Yeah.
That's the origin story for me with anime. You know, in the 90s, I really need to start reading some mangas, but...
I know. Same here.
Because last thing, if you guys ain't touched on Solo Leveling is the heavy hitter right now. I can't wait till part 2 comes out. It's
wild.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
But anyways... We can talk about anime all day. It sucks that we're inside on this beautiful, beautiful day, but we about to transition out there later, regardless of that fact. Recently, I mean not recently, but probably for a while now, you've been out there hiking, right?
Yep.
What really got you moving and wanting to get outside more and filter with the nature, join with the nature?
So as you know, I moved out of the Wheelers.
Okay. Yeah.
Live in Olympia now in an apartment, and it's pretty lonesome.
Okay.
So I've been just thinking, I need to go explore, get outside, and learn the environment around me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just started going out. Me and my girlfriend, New, shout out
to New. Hope you watch this.
Yep. But we like to go visit parks and like stores, like. We just visit downtown. We just explore, and I think parks around here or around Olympia were really, really great. And it kind of gave me an eye opener to, I can run around here and be really, really nice.
Yeah.
Just a beautiful scenery as I'm running.
Man, I don't know why people run outside and don't run inside.
Yes.
I can understand we live in Washington. It'd be raining crazy amounts, but we live in a state that's just. Nature is home. The air, sorry to cut you off. I gotta join in just a little bit.
No, you're good.
So you guys, COVID-19 hit, right? That was a crazy time for people, but the job that I was working at, TSA at the airport, it was an experience. It is what it is. But at that time, I was thankful for them because I was able to still make money and only be working 2 days a week. They sent me home quite a bit. So with all that free time, I said, let's go adventure Washington, right? That's when I fell in love with one, god damn, there's crazy amounts of hikes in Washington.
Yeah.
And two, oh my God, this waterfall, this mountaintop,
Yes.
these hills, look at these views.
The fresh air. Oh, that's
take
a big thing.
in,
That's a big
take
thing.
it in, like explore, you guys. I think that's part of our human code, you know, to explore and adventure. I always think why I feel so good when I go hike is because that's like part of my nature, right? And so when I'm out there and I'm looking at the views and I'm taking it in, maybe even getting some waterfall water on my hands and my head, whatever, right? It just feel different, right? When I come back down from the hike, I'm always like, damn, I'm back.
Yeah. It's
right?
like
It's a different world.
you disconnected.
Yep.
And then you reconnected.
Yep.
It's like, damn. Sometimes you just want to be off grid for a little bit and just like zone out. Chill out. Just be somewhere else.
I highly suggest if you guys don't go out and hike that you got to hike. Once again, he already mentioned it, disconnect. You know, we're too connected in this technological world. And once again, if you go out and you get some fresh air, you're already away from all the radiation of the microwaves, the TVs, the Wi-Fi signals that we don't know that is going through our heads, the Bluetooth. You know, they say the war unseen affects the body and the spleen. I'm playing. And so it's always good to detach and basically, like I would say, detox. You know, detox from the everyday life. And I mean, you can go vacation, but getting out in the nature, it's healing. Yeah. In my perspective, it's a very healing thing, and everybody should do it at least once a month, unless, you know, temperatures and weather is crazy.
Yeah, weather.
You know, but even if it's snowing and stuff, put on a jacket, put some shoes on, still get that fresh air. You know, it's still a good part of the healthy living and longevity in life.
Yeah. It's your own space out there.
Exactly.
You can go be you. You can go figure out stuff. You can go relax. You can
clear your mind.
Exactly.
You know, open up it.
Yeah. Thinking about everything else other than life.
Yes.
Just work on you.
It's a different kind of home.
Yeah.
Different kind of home. So speaking of the world and connecting back when we want to be disconnected more than we are connected, off-grid living.
Yeah.
So the world is kind of crazy right now, right? I don't want to dive too deep in it because it's heavy. But a lot since 2024 hit, which, you know, perspective change, you guys. I don't know if the new year is in January. I always think it's in like April because that's when the new showers start coming, new plants, new vegetation, all that stuff. That's when growth happens. It's like, why is the new year in January when stuff is still dead and we're in the winter?
Yeah.
Anyways, just a thought. Don't come at me for it. All right. Why is Chinese New Year and Cambodian New Year in April and March and not in January? Just saying. Anyways. So, Cat Williams comes out with this crazy podcast with my man, the football player, Shannon Sharp, and he goes crazy, right? And he starts naming names. He is naming names. And okay, like most of you guys don't know, I'm pretty heavy in a lot of conspiracies that are now very true. So they're actually not conspiracies anymore. They're just maybe something they wanted to push under the rug. But the truth is out, right? Because we're in the age of information, in the age of truth, and nobody's safe.
Yes.
Especially the celebrities. There's nobody safe. Nobody is safe. So Cat Williams let off a lot of names, and he also talked about Diddy. Now, this is not something I wanted to really dive into, but it's something that's really on and popping right now. And so if you know, you know. My thing is, why are they not talking about Epstein still? Because I feel like they're talking about Diddy, like Diddy ain't even part of Epstein. Like they part of the same island. Like Diddy is, yes, one of these characters that has influenced the game heavily, but there's always been people that are conspiracy theories always knew some up with Diddy. He doing something his crazy.
Wording, what he would say.
Yeah, can't stop, won't stop.
Ooh. Boy.
He was crazy with it. He is crazy. But yeah, he was heavily involved with some stuff. Yeah. And now everybody coming out and saying, yeah, Diddy did this, Diddy did that. oh, TD Jakes and these other people were involved. And so once again, nobody's safe. And if you guys have also been watching the Nickelodeon stuff with Quiet on Set,
Yeah.
that ruins the childhood. I mean, I didn't watch a whole lot of Nickelodeon shows besides like Rocket Power and stuff like that, but the shows with the real people in them, man, it's crazy. It's crazy the world we live in.
The iCarly.
What, Drake and Josh?
Drake and Josh. Oh, Drake and Josh.
Oh,
yeah.
man.
Horrible.
Yeah, but once again, nobody's safe. And I'm, as much as it's disturbing, I'm glad it's happening, because imagine how many years horrible stuff like this has been happening.
Yeah.
People.
The industry, Hollywood industry in general, is just a shit show.
Yep. And the biggest thing that disturbed me about Quiet on Set, I didn't watch all of it, but I think it was Drake. He was talking about how he underwent some things, right? But he didn't want to say anything because he knew it was going to possibly ruin his career.
Yeah.
And so, in my perspective, look, I can't speak for everybody, but if I'm getting molested, I'm sorry, I don't want the fame no more.
No.
I don't want the fame no more.
No, not that bad.
I'm saying, as much as these memories could be great, this is worse. Yeah. This memory is worse than anything that it can't override the good
trauma,
stuff.
The trauma alone.
Ain't no way.
You've seen a therapist the rest of your life.
I'm scratching my head. I'm big time scratching my head, and so, all that stuff, I'm glad it's coming out. I hope they get everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody that's connected, because, child trafficking and doing all that stuff to all the children. If you want to get into it, you get into it, but it's been a long time.
Yeah.
And I'll be putting string lines to things and being like, okay, this is connected to this. This movie, these shows have been talking about it.
Yeah.
It's been ongoing. So it's like people that think this is new, they've been doing this for decades. No. Shoot, it might have been a century. Who knows? And why is the religious people involved in it too? Who knows? I'm not going down that rabbit hole, though.
That's a whole different rabbit hole. You going down. Ooh.
It's crazy. I know I'm saying some very controversial things, but if you know, you know. We're in the age of the truth. You guys got to know these things now. Yeah. So speaking of all that, on the side of the craziness and the world that we're living in, they're also talking about aliens. What do you think?
100%. I think they're out there.
Yeah.
I think they are.
How can you deny? How can you deny?
There's so many different, so far. Yeah. The galaxy, it reaches so far. There's so many different galaxies. I gotta pop this in here too.
Oh yeah. So many.
So many. It's and there could be so many dimensions. So many. It's just too far out there, man. It's it's unknown.
Yeah. So that
you unknown, you never.
Yeah. Well, stop having the fear of the unknown. It is what it is. Okay. If it comes, it's meant to come. That's how the universe works. That's my perspective. And so a big thing that goes around, especially in movies, is like, all right, if the aliens do show their face and they make themselves public, they're probably going to take us over. Yeah. I think that's a big misconception. So this is my perspective. Possibly. Okay. Possibly. Humans, I think, are the worst beings on the earth, right? There's good humans, and there's humans that aren't so good, right? Yeah. And to talk about aliens in the sense of like, there's probably really good aliens, there's probably really bad aliens.
Yeah.
So there's always going to be a yin and yang, a half and half. But my thought process is always going to be, all right, if the aliens showed themselves to us long time ago, Roswell, Mexico, all across there's always been sightings everywhere, right? I don't think they came with ill intent. That's just a thought. They probably came and was like, we want to share some stuff with y'all. Yeah. And they're like, wait, you got all this technology, all these weaponry. We got to take them out, you guys. We got to take them out. We got to take them out. Yeah. Right? And so they caught some aliens. Scared. Yes. Yeah. It's a very like mentality. Like, I'm not going to say all humans have this mentality, but we always believe if somebody's more powerful than us, then they might take us over. They might enslave us. Like, where did that mentality come from? Who knows? But it's deep in the roots of the power system.
Yeah, it's definitely in our DNA. Yeah. And you fear the unknown. That's why you want to conquer it. That's why we are conquerors.
Yeah.
That's why we're the most horrible people on the planet. Humanity is in a way a leech because it just wants to conquer everything until maybe one day kaboosh.
So,
you know what I'm talking about?
So hear this theory out. This is a theory.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So the aliens came and they encountered humans, and then some of the aliens got killed.
Yeah.
And they got their stuff taken and re-engineered, right? And they sent the signal up to the other aliens and like, no, don't come down here, right? This is a theory.
Okay.
And so, once again, no facts behind this. It's just a thought, right? And so when people have been getting abducted, I think it's us re-engineering their stuff and abducting ourselves for whatever reason. I don't know why. For like the illusion to make it seem that aliens are bad.
Okay, so you think it's our people trying to control us?
I think so.
I mean,
And control the like our perception of what we believe as aliens being good or bad, right? And so there's been some crazy manipulation going on in our world for the longest time with our society, with what we learn. Yeah. And so for me to have this thought, I don't think the thought comes from nowhere. Mm-hmm. Why do we have certain thoughts? Yeah. It's drawn in from something. And so sometimes I think it's a higher knowing, it's a higher curiosity, and the curiosity comes from something. Okay. Right. And so that's just my thought process on aliens. If I were ever to encounter an alien, I would probably say, what's up? Well,
what do you think about the thought of aliens coming from the ocean?
I think that's a high possibility because the things that they tell us about space, I think it's a lot of BS. Yeah. Especially with NASA and what they say of going to the moon. I don't think that was ever a thing.
Other planet? Yeah, well, yeah. Seeing that movie come out.
Yes. If you know, there's a movie coming out talking about how they faked the moon landing.
Watch that movie. I heard it's going to be great.
Yes.
But they think we know like other galaxies, there's another planet inhabitable, some odd far, but we don't know anything about our own ocean.
Yeah. How is it that they know more about space? Yeah. Than the deep ocean, the mysteries of the deep. I think this is what I think. They actually went down in the deep ocean and discovered some stuff and said, "We can't discover no more."
Awesome. Hey, that deserves one of these, right?
Yeah. It's beyond me.
Yeah.
They probably saw something because think about it. I don't know if you guys realize this, but they always say before time of man or whatever, they had big giant dinosaurs and stuff, right? Okay, there's some big giant dinosaur type things under the water.
Yeah,
right?
For sure. 100%.
Think about Godzilla
Megalodons
and all these things, right? They come from underwater. Or so to say, maybe inner Earth is real. I don't know, right?
That had me thinking, to be honest, that movie, and when they did that little dive into the inner Earth, I was like, oh, what the? Because, I mean, do we really know?
The more I know, the more I don't know.
Exactly. Yeah. Yes. More information is always out there.
Yep. Information changes situations, but it guides you to more information.
Yeah. You'll never have all the information.
Yeah.
It'll never be there.
Well, I'm going to tell you, I've went down a lot of rabbit holes. I usually don't go into this type of stuff into this podcast, but the biggest thing, you guys, is awareness. Yes. Right? I like to know the world that I'm living in. And also, the more I know, the more I gain a higher percentage of the human experience. What do I want to choose to be in my reality, right? They say the personality is the reality that you see. And so the more you learn, the more you use in your everyday, the more like that becomes your reality. Yeah. So if you choose to go down rabbit holes, you're going to see different, right? You're going to bypass the manipulation, or you're going to be like, oh, dang, now I didn't know this information before, but now I know it. So now people aren't going to be able to manipulate me in certain ways. Yeah. And it's going to draw my curiosity. And so now you probably become a more interesting person. Mm-hmm. Or two, people might think you're crazy. Yeah. And might drive you down a hole, and you might be isolated. But, these are things that you have to accept. It is what it is. The truth will set you free.
It's like what Cat Williams did. I mean, he could have kept all that information to himself, but no, he decided to share it with Shannon Sharp.
Exactly.
I mean, and look what's coming out.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
And we would have never knew unless some people come out about it.
Yep. And then guess what? We live in a time where social media is a killer. And people came out with the receipts to say, oh, Cat Williams, you're speaking the truth. Oh, Cat Williams, you're speaking the truth again. Oh, and so there was a lot of people just saying like, oh, he just, talking that talk.
Yeah.
But when there's information to back up what you say, you are dangerous.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
When you know something and they know you know something.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's why I always think like in today's day, don't lie about yourself.
no.
When it comes to like your accolades or something in sports or whatever, because in today's time, a kid, an adult, they'll look you up.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
okay, he definitely lied about
you're
this.
lying.
Or they know how to network. People know how to talk to other people. So
Yeah.
do you know such and such? Did they do this? Oh, no, I don't know him.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't do that.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people like that. I'm
Yeah.
not going to name any names, but they know who they are out there.
Yeah, if you know, you know. You guys, just stop lying. Be truthful. It's pure, and it helps you with your life and living better, okay?
It
So
makes your life easier.
yeah,
If you're not
Yeah.
lying,
Yeah.
if you're being who you are, you're living life
yeah.
to its full potential.
I think there's certain situations where you can stretch the truth. Right? I'm not gonna say it's a complete lie, but sometimes people just don't need to know your business.
Well,
Right.
that's true too.
And so, I mean, I won't say lying is 100% a bad thing, but when you're lying, when it has to do with like your personal accolades or like who you are, I don't think it's okay. But,
Yeah.
Sometimes they'd be like, oh, you're so brutally honest. That's not, I wouldn't say that's a bad thing. I'd rather people be brutally honest than beat around the bush.
Yeah.
Because if you're beating around the bush, you're not really being straightforward. And sometimes that can be misconceived of, oh, maybe she likes me or maybe she doesn't like me.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
She's giving me mixed signals.
Yeah.
Right. And so the human experience, right? There's percentages to it. And it's all about, I feel like we should read more. I need to read more. 100%.
Yeah.
I was just reading an article not that long ago, and they were talking about why certain people aren't as creative because they haven't developed their vision. And so when you're reading, we'll say fiction books, you really have to imagine, right, what's going on in the story. And so when you're reading fiction, you're able to see what's going on in the story. And so they say people that read more when it comes to fiction, they're able to have more creative ideas because they can see things before they're even created.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what I believe is one of our superpowers, the power to imagine, the power to see something that's not here yet and then create it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so once again, you guys, don't be looking at yourselves as normal, popular to belief. I'm not going to go too heavy in religion, but if we're created in his image, I'm just saying we can do certain things that he can do too.
Yeah.
Or I'm not going to say it.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what it is, but
Yeah.
we definitely have a creator.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I think everybody's human experience is different too.
100%.
You know what I mean? Everybody has their own reality in which they want to walk. But yeah.
Yeah.
This is pretty dope so far.
Yeah. I'll be diving in. A lot of the times that there was a time, you guys, a little bit of personal information about myself where I didn't really talk too much.
Yeah.
Right. And people used to think like, oh, he's quiet. And I'd be like, yeah, you're right. I just don't know you. That's why I'm not saying nothing.
Yeah. Well, you got to pick your friends wisely too. Everybody can be an acquaintance. I can know people and give them,
a perspective
of who I am, but I'm not going to give you the full thing.
Exactly.
Unless I really put you in my circle. There's
only a few people that you should ever share everything with. And that's obviously your spouse. There's even perspectives if you're a parent. I'm not a parent yet, but I am a coach, and coaches, they're up there. But anyways, even from parent to child, you can't even show your full self to them, because they look up to you, and there's certain things that you have to be for them to look up to. And so
the guide.
Yeah, exactly. So there's always, once again, keep your circle small. Try if you can, because I know there's some people in this world that don't have a good friend, best friend that they can be fully open with. And so those are hard to find. So if you find them, keep them close, because once again, these are things that a lot of people take for granted.
Yeah.
And don't understand how important they are in their lives, because sometimes everybody needs a shoulder to lean on, right? Somebody to talk to vent to, vice versa. And so those things are always hard to find. And back in my early podcast, I always said, you have to develop a true trust.
Yeah.
And the true trust is being able to like be fully open with somebody and know that what you say is not going to be damaging or used against you, vice versa. And then if something happened, I could call you. You gonna help me out. No questions asked.
Yeah, no
right?
questions asked.
Vice versa.
Be that guy.
I'm gonna do the same for you.
Yeah.
And so ride or dies, sometimes that can be the wife or the girlfriend, but sometimes you gotta have others as well that we, keep this on the DL. The wife don't need to know.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we gonna handle business. Stand on that, right?
Yeah.
Get the bag.
Yeah. Picking your friends are just the hardest thing to do in the world, though.
Yeah.
Picking the ones closest to you, the ones you can really open up to, the ones that got your back.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have to meet them later on in life, so you don't need your friends now. You don't need it's okay to be alone.
Isolation is good.
Yeah, it's okay to like find yourself and know who you are. You got to know who you are before you know who anybody else is.
Yeah, and even like I'm going back to relationship stuff. If you're, trying to get with somebody or you're with somebody, you can't truly love anybody if you don't love yourself.
Yeah.
So the relationship to self is more important before you give your love to somebody else.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's a big part of, I think, relationship problems is they go into relationships looking for love.
Yeah.
But they haven't learned to love themselves yet. So how can you truly love somebody else if you don't love yourself?
Exactly. I relate this to anime, man.
Everything's relatable to anime.
Right, you know what I mean? I want to be who I am without anime. I think anime helped me, be a perception of a person I wasn't before.
Yeah.
It made me recreate myself in an image based on these characters, but obviously not to their extent. I'm not
taking a little bit of their mentalities.
Yeah, just their mentalities, their mindsets, and putting it in my own life. And then kind of seeing the relationships between the characters themselves and relating that to people you may know.
Yeah.
Like you're like Naruto and Sasuke.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, man. They're best of friends now.
Yeah.
But they went through some shit.
They went through
try
a lot
to kill
of
each
stuff.
other, man. You know what I mean? And I think I can relate that to now. It's like competition.
Yeah.
It's like you're competitive with your friends in the wrestling room. You get to the practice, you step on the mat. You're a little different when you go live and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like
I always say
iron sharpens iron, or
steel sharpens steel.
yeah,
Something
whatever.
is a similar.
Something like that.
I always think though, without our enemies, we can't thrive.
No, yeah,
right.
Yeah,
and so I had
without
this conversation with a friend of mine, and we're just like, do you thank your enemies? Because without them, you wouldn't have been able to grow.
Yeah.
And so I was like, dang, that's a good perspective.
Well,
right
there villains, there can never be a hero. You know what I mean?
But then there's a perspective on villains. Okay, I'm sorry. We got to get into this real quick.
Okay.
So, villains are villains because they do things that I would say are morally wrong. But as the compass of their origin of why they're doing it is morally correct.
Yeah.
Right? So they look at the world and they say, this is what's wrong with the world. Let me eliminate some things. Yeah, it might be bad, but it's going to make the world a better place. Look, everybody knows about Thanos.
I was about to bring him up. Thanos.
And I'm only bringing him up because he's one of those characters that everybody knows about.
Yeah.
And so, obviously, he wanted to snap half the existence in all these worlds, and that's horrible. As a hero, you want everybody to live. But when you think about how life is, think about the world we live in today. There's people on the streets. They're starving. Financially, some people can't afford the world we live in. It's crazy. You can't even afford a place to live, all these things. So imagine, right? You snapped half of the world, right? And I'm not saying I would ever do this. I'm just saying Thanos mentality.
Yeah, look at the opportunities.
Right? Half of the world is gone. You don't have to worry about food.
Mm-hmm.
The cost of living should be lower. Everything should. So his mentality was, I want to make the world a better place for everybody to survive better.
But it wasn't just the world. He's thinking about the universe.
Yeah, that's facts.
He's
thinking
about everything in the universe.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to different planets and seeing how these populations are thriving or not thriving.
Yeah.
On a downfall.
Yeah.
I mean, and there's probably an occurrence, obviously, if he's trying to do it to the whole universe.
Yeah.
So it's not our problems are not just our problems.
Exactly.
If there's other beings out there, they probably face similar things to what we do.
Well, think about a lot of superheroes in general. A lot of them don't come from a lot of money.
Yeah, no.
And so they don't really show that in the shows, the Marvel, DC stuff, but
Mm-hmm.
they're like, you got Iron Man, he got a lot of dope.
Yeah, Batman.
You got Batman,
Yeah.
Black Panther, he a king.
I mean, technically, but that's
you
just
know?
because where where his culture is. And
Exactly.
origin.
I wanted to give one more thing. So we're talking about Batman real quick. So have you watched the Batman Red Hood? Have you seen that one?
Who's it with?
The Red Hood is like it's one of the Robins.
Nope.
And so, okay, so anyways, just a quick perspective or just a quick question, all right? So Batman's ultimate villain is Joker,
Yeah.
right? So Joker gets one of the Robins, I can't remember which one it was, and beats him to a pulp where he's about to die,
Yeah.
right? And Batman gets there and ends up saving Robin, but Robin is like, we need to kill him. He almost killed me.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
Right? He's talking to Batman. In Batman,
Yeah.
he don't kill people.
No.
Right? But this is what I looked at when I watched this movie, right? There's two people in the world. Okay? You have the heroes and you have the villains.
Yeah.
Right? And so most people, like, say our parent got killed by somebody and we knew them.
Okay.
Right? We want revenge.
Yeah.
We want to kill them.
Mm-hmm.
But morally, that's not right.
No.
You shouldn't, right? And so the Batman mentality is, I'm not going to kill, but I'm going to make you live with your consequences for your actions.
Yeah.
Right? And so I always think, what's the harder route? Because Batman got his parents killed too.
Yeah.
Right? And so he lived his life without parents, but obviously he still had hella money. So it's still a little different. A little different still. But I understand it's hard. But so Batman's road was he's still going to fight these villains, put them in prison, but he's never going to kill.
Yeah.
Even if, so who's the stronger person? The person that doesn't kill or the person that wants to get the revenge and kill? Who's stronger?
I mean, I gotta say, from a perspective as a human, it depends on what time, what the culture,
Mm-hmm.
but
Because some people say arm for an arm, leg for a leg.
yeah, exactly. And there's in humans' nature, it's like you want to get that revenge. So it's easy to go with your nature.
So let me add this
hard to
in.
go
Let
against
me add
your
this in.
nature.
They always say once you kill, you're a killer.
Yeah, true.
That's why
100%.
they say like
Yeah,
you should think twice before you actually murder somebody
yeah.
because that lives with you forever.
But it also depends on how we look upon murder. The perception of killing someone in modern day
Yeah.
is, but if we were talking about back in the day where
Mhm.
it's like, hey, you do something like this, you're going to die.
Yeah.
Everybody knows it.
Yeah. I
You're
feel
gonna get
like
killed.
if it's life or death and like you're trying to kill my loved one or something,
Yeah.
like I'm going to protect them
Oh, you're dead.
and I got to do what I got to do.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's different than like going out, finding the person and killing them.
It depends. I mean, I'm not sure about that. I would have
Anyways,
to disagree.
a topic for debate.
Yeah, I would have to disagree because
Once again, if I was in the moment, I don't know 100% sure, but the things I've watched and experienced with like my higher self or
Yeah.
my evil versus good side might be like they might battle a little bit because when we're connected to certain people or somebody damages us to a hardcore level, we're going to remember that.
Yeah.
And it's hard to forgive and let go. That's why I say, what's the harder road, right? Letting go, forgiving, or choosing to stay in a state of like revenge. It's always going to be a hard road to debate. And I feel like certain people that would listen to this, they might choose one way and they might choose the other way.
Yeah.
But there's arguably good information that can back both sides.
100%.
Right. And
It depends on the type of person you are.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
for me, I'm getting that revenge. You know what I mean?
Going hands.
Because what's to stop them? Again.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing with
And
the
that's
movie
another
that
good
we're
reason.
talking about. Yeah.
That's another point of information that can be, but other people could say other stuff about it as well.
Yeah, because I mean, if we go back to Batman, I mean, like, okay, Batman put this fool Joker into prison a whole bunch of times,
Yes,
and this fool gets out multiple times,
bop, bop, bop.
and still hurts and damages people. So I think there is a line to be drawn. I'm not saying I'm a murderer or anything like that.
Yeah.
Off the record, it's just what we do, what is morally correct. You know what I mean? Who put the standards on morally correct and like what we should do and what we shouldn't do? I think there's, you feel good or you don't feel good.
Okay.
Something will sit with you, right? Or it won't, right? And so there's always like, they always say, do the right thing.
Yeah.
I think ultimately we always will know what the right thing is.
Yeah.
Like our gut instinct, our the feelings that we get, our higher spiritual powers that I would say, if you don't know what those are, look into them, because they're definitely something we should look into. Goosebumps. All these things are like certain things that they don't teach us about in school, or at least most schools, that we need to be aware of, that our higher self, I would like to say, is always like, hey, take note of that.
Yeah, back of your mind.
Right, right. This is something that if you think about it and you try to train it, it will get stronger and stronger and stronger. So I think moral that you guys just listen to your gut. Try to be more right than wrong, especially when it comes to what you're saying to people. Think before you speak. Yeah. Because your words speak louder than what you believe.
Yeah.
And so, anyways, you got any last words, Jeremiah?
Yeah, I would say, you should definitely think about what you say and speak, because whatever you speak is going to come into existence. You just got to believe it. I mean, you tell yourself you're going to be a natty champ. You're going to act that way. You're going to carry yourself that way. I mean, you're going to go and do the things necessary to be who you perceive yourself as. So.
Yeah, facts. I mean, I know I was about to wrap this up. I got to go a few more minutes, though. I always think that we can make a shift every day if we wanted to.
Yeah.
Right? And the me yesterday might not be the me today. Mm-hmm. Right? And I always thank my past self for who I became today, because all the shifts and things that I've changed, and I changed my mind, they got me to who I am today. Yeah. Right? But that doesn't mean I can't make a left turn and change the whole trajectory of what I'm about to do. Yes. Right? And so when people have known you in the past, they've known a perspective of you. Right? When people are still judging me, oh, I knew you back. It's like, okay, I'm not the same person. No, not at all. I've gained so many levels of experience, which is age. I don't look at it as old. No. You leveling up in the game. Boom. All right? And so we always gain experience every year that we grow. Right. And so with experience, we change. Yeah. Some people might stay the same because they chose to stay in the loop. Mm-hmm. Right. But growth is continuous. Yes. Evolution is continuous. It doesn't stop unless you just want it to stop. You will be remodeled every day. Yeah. You'll be remolded every day. New neurons are hitting and blasting. Yeah. So to wrap this up, y'all, keep learning. Yes. Always learn new stuff. So one, you just become a more interesting individual, and two, you can give it back, right? I feel like anything that you know really well, anything that I know really well, at the end of the day, it ain't coming with us. Yeah. Give it back. There's so many people in this world that be gatekeeping information, which, like, why not help the world, right? Yeah. Now, why not be a service, right? We're people that we attain information, we learn it real well, and we give it back. Yeah. Right? That's how I would say, people remember you. Mm-hmm. You become legendary status. Not always for what you do, that is a part of it, but what you can give back to the people. Yeah. I mean, that's how you stay remembered. You give back. I mean, how else is somebody going to remember you? How is that new wrestler going to, what if he comes to fame? Yeah. What if he rises to the top? I mean, hey, remember that one guy that told you? Yeah. Oh, yeah. I remember him. I remember that coach back in the day. Mm-hmm. He helped me with this, I mean, you could change people's lives. You don't know it. Yeah. I want to end with this quote. This is going to be a new thing on the podcast, but if you want to be at the top, don't be afraid of heights. Yep. Just heard that today. Nice. I loved it. Because so many people want to be, they want to be in a certain part in their life financially, or the best of the best, but they don't know, they're afraid of what they got to do to get there. Yeah, you can't be afraid to climb. Yeah, it's the process. Keep climbing and climbing and climbing and climbing. So let's wrap it up, man. Jeremiah, thank you for taking the time out of your busy day, because I know we all have these busy lives, to come out to my, lovely home and spend a little time with me, and we knock out this podcast to always affect the listeners and just give them that great knowledge, or just 100% awareness, a perspective change, something to keep them thinking, keep them growing, and always going on that path to become the best version of yourself.
Yeah.
We out. Change, leveled up in this life, it really is a game. I'm just trying to gain more peace in this insane world. Best version of yourself. Let's get it. Oh yeah.